for the presidency of the United States of America for about 8-9 months now. And that has meant traveling all across the country. We have been everywhere. And one of the things that we have seen everywhere are these magnificent crowds like we see here today. I mean, we had 20,000 people in Austin, Texas, and 20,000 people in Atlanta, Georgia, and 15,000 people in Oakland, California, and 10,000 people in Iowa City, Iowa. There aren't that many folks in Iowa City. But what's been so inspiring is not just the size of the crowds, but it's something Elijah referred to. It's the makeup of the crowds, because it's people from all walks of life. Now, part of the reason that all these people are coming out is, let's face it, it is a reaction to George W. Bush. Because folks are sick and tired of Bush, and they're sick and tired of Cheney. They are frustrated with an administration that treats our Constitution as a nuisance to be avoided, as opposed to the foundation of our liberty and our democracy. They've had enough of administration economic policies that are widening the gap between rich and poor. So you've got CEOs making more in 10 minutes than ordinary people are making in an entire year. They weary of the lack of progress on critical issues like health care and energy. They are ashamed when they see our fellow citizens on rooftops after a storm, without water, without food, without rescue, because you've got an administration that's either too indifferent or too incompetent to organize relief for those folks. And most of all, people are tired of this war that should have never been authorized and should have never been waged, a war that's cost us $500 billion so far, and thousands of lives. A war that hasn't made us more safe, but has diminished our standing in the world. We have to change course. We have to set a timetable. We have to be as careful getting out as we were careless getting in, but we've got to begin to get our troops home and get all our combat troops out by March 30th of next year. We passed in the Senate and in the House that timetable to withdraw our troops. The president vetoed it. And now Elijah and myself and others are trying to put pressure on our Republican colleagues to understand that there will be no military solution in Iraq, only a political solution. And we've got to bring that about with a fundamental change in policy. Because our troops should not have to wait for another 18 months to get started bringing them home. But I promise you this, if we have not started bringing them home by January 20th of 2009, the first thing I will do as President of the United States is bring this war to an end. I promise you that. You can take that to the bank. Millions of voices around America decide that change must come. They reject the world just as it is. They believe in the world as it might be. Now, I know that some of you may still be cynical. You may like Obama, but you say, you know what, one person, even a bunch of people, they're not going to make any difference. But I want to tell you a story just to give you some sense of the power of one person. I was down in South Carolina, in Columbia, their state capital, and I was at a legislative conference. Black Caucus had a conference. They asked me to speak. And South Carolina is an early state like Iowa and New Hampshire. So I went, and I was sitting next to a state rep, and I wanted her endorsement. So I said, "State rep, I want your endorsement." And she looked at me, and she thought about it. She said, "Obama, I will come, I will give you my endorsement if you come to my hometown of Greenwood, South Carolina." And I must have had a glass of wine, because right away I just said, "Okay." I'm coming. Come to find out, Greenwood's about an hour and a half from every place else. So next time I'm in South Carolina, we fly in, and I've been campaigning for 2 weeks straight, Doug. I mean, I'm exhausted. And we get in the airport about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I get to my hotel room past midnight, and I'm staggering into my room and just dreaming already about that pillow. And my staff tapped me on the shoulder. They said, Senator, you got to be in the car by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And I said, what? I said, 6 a.m. I said, why is that? They said, because we've got to go to Greenwood like you promised. So the next morning, I wake up, and I feel terrible. I just don't want to get out of bed, but I drag myself out. I pull open the shades in the hotel room, and it's pouring down rain outside. And I open up the newspaper with my coffee and start reading, and there's a bad story about me in the New York Times. I go downstairs, my umbrella blows open, and I get soaking wet. So now I'm in the car, I'm sleeping, I'm wet, I'm mad, cold. My staff's not talking to me because they can see I'm not in a good mood right now. And suddenly, behind us, we hear this voice. Fired up! And the other 20 people in the room, they act like this is normal. They all say, fired up. And then this voice says, ready to go! And the other 20 people, they all say, ready to go. And I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. So I look behind me, and there's this little woman standing there. She's about 5'2", 5'3", about 65. She's got a church outfit, big church hat. She got big glasses. And she's smiling right at me, and she says, fired up! And come to find out that she is a city councilwoman from Greenwood who's famous for her chant. She's been doing this for years. They call her the chant lady. And for the next 5 minutes, she just keeps on chanting. She says, fired up, and everybody says, fired up, and ready to go, and everybody says, ready to go. And I don't know what to do. I'm here, I'm trying to campaign. So I'm looking at my staff, they shrug their shoulders. Everybody's chanting. But here's the thing, my staff says, we're fired up, bossy. You ready to go? And I say, I'm ready to go. So it goes to show you how one voice can change a room. And if it can change a room, then it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a country. And if it can change a country, then it can change the world. So the question I've got for you, Prince George, is, are you fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go? Let's go change the world. Thank you very much, everybody.